the drugstore amassing her father's assets while Kay and the opposite unswerving arrive. She assaults them, knocking them down. Earlier than escaping, she is going to her residence and begins evolved packing, exhausted via way of means of the whole thing and looking to go away Istanbul. A ways in the back of, however, while she sees antique pics of her father, recollections flood lower back, making her emotional. In the meantime, Azra proclaims Zaya traitor, arguing that if she had been without a doubt unswerving she would not run, however could come and shield herself. Hoan strongly disagrees, however Azra insists they'll discover her and gift her earlier than the council, allowing them to determine her fate. Hakan refuses to simply accept this and prepares to go away, grabbing his dagger. However, earlier than he can cross, Gay and the others restrain him. Azra coldly tells him that she might not allow him go away despite the fact that it approach locking him up due to the fact it is thinking about his personal safety. As Ila is writing, abnormal voices echo in her thoughts. She loses manipulate over her mind and unknowingly steers the automobile to a strange region. While she arrives, she reveals Falandruia already ready for her. Found and famous, the surprising reality that his blood now runs via her veins, whether or not she likes it or now no longer. She will now do something he instructions. In the meantime, Zayup arrives at Daria's workplace, leaving Darius greatly surprised to look her alive. Without hesitation, Zanup kills her, avenging her father as she prepares to go away Istanbul. For top recollections of her father's phrases come speeding lower back. She had promised by no means to go away, the protector on my own, and to offer her existence to save Istanbul if wished. Torn via way of means of this, she stops, reconsidering her choice. Finally she turns her vehicle round and heads lower back. She arrives at the drugstore basement, in which Han is being tied to a chair. As she attempts to unfasten him, she is stuck, sparking a combat. Han fast intervenes, preventing all of them. He reminds them that in the event that they maintain preventing among themselves, they'll by no means be capable of face the immortals. He tells Azra that they want solidarity best collectively. Can they defeat all 7 immortals? Zaynep then famous that she met Daria, who warned her approximately an approaching large-scale assault connected to the Beyond. Figuring out the urgency, Hoan asks for her assist in taking down the immortals. Maintaining his management, he tells anybody that to any extent further they'll comply with his lead. Their responsibility, because the protector and the unswerving ones, is to remove the immortals and protect Istanbul once more. Faisal takes manipulate Avila's thoughts and leads her to an unknown region in which he and Ruia are already ready. While she arrives, she has no recollection of how she were given there. Fistel reminds her that she not controls her personal frame due to the fact he does. She has come to be a component of him, now an immortal, and the behave to obey his instructions. In the meantime, Per and the opposite immortal scouts borrow a particularly toxic insect from the Istanbul museum. They start large-scale manufacturing of it, making ready for something sinister. On the opposite aspect, Zaynep subsequently admits that she killed Daria. Hakan, unfazed, says that what's finished is finished, and now they have to recognition on staying united and collecting extra intel approximately the imminent assault. Simply then Ila arrives. Hakan questions her approximately in which she has been all this time. Ila hesitates, earlier than announcing she desires to inform him something and that he should not have come right here. However, earlier than she will be able to say extra, Hakan exhibits that she is now certainly considered one among them and could live through his aspect. Azra notices something off and pulls Hakan apart, cautioning him to be cautious together along with his alternatives and now no longer blindly believe all of us. Hakan then tells Azra that she must take into account she is only a dependable one and now no longer intervene together along with his selections as their communication ends. Information breaks approximately the museum theft. Understanding the robbery is probably connected to the assault, he gathers absolutely each person. Zaynep mentions that she has a touch who works there and shows assembly them to get extra records. Hoan makes a decision to go alongside, however, on the grounds that he's a desired guy. He is taking Ila with him. The three head to the museum to accumulate records. There they research that the stolen insect has a records of inflicting huge plagues. Those creatures develop swiftly underground and cause earthquakes because of their actions. They eat the whole thing of their course, residing or lifeless animals, birds, even people. In the meantime, K preserving watch outdoor notices that a few law enforcement officials have identified Hakan. He fast messages Zaynep urging them to go away right away. However, earlier than they are able to break out, Fizzle all over again takes manage of Hila's thoughts. She unknowingly actions away and smashes a container, triggering the alarm. As quickly as she regains her senses, chaos erupts. Hakan and Zeynep slightly manipulate to break out, and the police fail to seize them. After suffering to get out, they subsequently go back to the drugstore. As soon as their Zeynep begins evolved suspecting Hila's peculiar conduct, she confronts Hakan, announcing she does not believe her in any respect, especially on the grounds that she wasn't round while the alarm went off. Hakan dismisses her issues, accusing her of being biased in opposition to Hila. Lividze slaps him, reminding him of the whole thing she has finished. For him best to be doubted like this. Heartbroken, she storms out. In the meantime, Fizzle summons Hila lower back to him. Completalist manner, she may be killed as via way of means of the talismanic dagger if she desires to unfasten herself. She beneath Neth is managed. She is powerless towards him. He reminds her that resistance is futile due to the fact she belongs to him now, frame and soul together, along with his manage now absolute. He asks her approximately the Immortals' plans. Hila exhibits that they may be already getting ready for his or her assault. Faisal smirks, pronouncing the time has come to fulfill with the others and orders Hila to accompany him. Faisal takes Hila to fulfill the opposite Immortals and introduces her and is certainly considered one among them. However, the others refuse to just accept her, arguing that she is most effective. One half of human, one half of immortal, certainly considered one among them, steps nearer, pronouncing he has a passion for blended blood. Disgusted, Hila snaps again, pronouncing she unearths his face repulsive. Angry, the immortal grabs her through the throat. However, earlier than he can do something, Phil rapidly intervenes. He grabs the attacker through the neck and kills him. Immediate searching on the relaxation, he warns them to don't forget who added them again to existence. He knows they were plotting at the back of his again and maintaining secrets and techniques from him. He broadcasts that he on my own will kill the protector, and threatens that each person who dares to examine Hila the incorrect manner will meet the identical destiny as the only mendacity useless earlier than them. Listening to this, the ultimate immortals backtrack and depart. Later, Fizzle apologizes to Ruaya, explaining that this turned into essential. After that, Hakan and Hila head to fulfill an insect expert. Hoan instructs Hila to live outdoor and keep watch whilst he and K pass in. The professor explains that those bugs had been pretty lethal in historical times, destroying whole towns. It's far feasible that their stays will be used to carry them again to existence. As Hila stands defend, she secretly informs the police approximately Hakan's vicinity. Simply as she does, Zeynep takes place to look in her direction, her eyes slender as she quick portions the whole lot. Collectively, Hila has betrayed them. A wave of surprise and disappointment washes over her. However, there may be no time to react. Interior, Han and K flow rapidly, desperately looking for a man around. Each 2D counts and that they push ahead, decided to break out. However, earlier than they could make it, chaos erupts, sirens wail and footsteps echo all around them. The police arrive in complete pressure, blocking off each feasible go out. Figuring out they may be absolutely trapped, Hakan has no desire. The officials near and guns drawn, leaving no room for resistance. In mere moments he's surrounded from all aspects, and earlier than he can do something, they capture him, taking him into custody. At final, the locusts are developing unexpectedly, and Pure is pleased to peer this development. Notwithstanding Phil's warnings, she refuses. Transferred to a high-security intellectual clinic after his claims approximately the protector and the immortals. In the meantime, Zeynep talks to Azra, worried that an assault ought to manifest at any second. She insists they should act fast to get Hakan out. However, Azra believes they have to wait till the scenario cools down. This ends in an issue and Zeynep storms out, but she is denied access into the clinic, forcing her to backpedal inside. Hoan takes benefit of a restroom damage to break out. He climbs out through a window, achieving the rooftop. Simply as he is set to leap down, the guards seize him. They strap him to a mattress and inject him with a sedative to hold him constrained. Later, Zeynep confronts Hila, stressful to understand why she betrayed Hoan to the police. Hila subsequently confesses that she has become an immortal and Fizzle now controls her thoughts. He could make her do something and he or she seems like she's dropping herself. Determined for assist, she pleads with Zan, who is of the same opinion. They get right into a vehicle and Zan asks how a lot she is aware of Approximately the plan Handiest is aware of that the locusts are multiplying unexpectedly and that they'll be launched all at once, inflicting mass destruction in an unmarried nighttime. At that second Faisal re-establishes his preserve over Ela. Her body stiffens as she unexpectedly grabs the guidance wheel, seeking to swerve the auto-reacting fast Zeynep unbuckles Ela's seat belt and slams the brakes. The effect throws Ela ahead, hitting her head towards the dashboard and knocking her subconscious Zay slightly escapes damage. However, Faisal is enraged knowing he can no longer tame Ela. In the meantime, Ruiya's fitness begins to fall to say no due to the fact she hasn't had sufficient of the Protector's blood. Feel looks after her, promising to get the blood quickly. He then visits Hakan with inside the clinic, begging him to provide greater blood, as Ruiya is death. However, Hakan refuses, spits in his face and threatens to kill each him and his spouse quickly earlier than Faisal can react. An alarm blur in the course of the clinic. The prisoners get away in their cells. Growing chaos amongst them is a person named Levent who facilitates Hakan breakout they controlled to escape in an ambulance, subsequently breaking loose ladders to abandon her project. In the meantime, he items Ela Locket, appreciating her attempt in making Hakan imprisoned. However, Hakan that nighttime, Ela and Zeynep go to a weather officer asking in which latest minor earthquakes have took place. He informs them that the maximum latest one turned into close to the stadium. Recognition moves as they recognize that the tremors need to be related to the locusts. The Immortals plan to launch them in the course of the imminent Istanbul suit, whilst the stadium will be packed, making sure most devastation. Hakan grabs a Telecel smartphone from Levent and calls Zap, informing her that he has escaped from the health center. Ela without delay warns him that the suit is occurring these days and the Immortals will launch the bugs in the course of the sport. Hakan asks approximately the dagger and Zeynep reassures him that she delivered it with her. He tells them to satisfy him on the stadium even as he is going after the Immortals. By the point Layla and Zay arrive, Hakan is already monitoring the Immortals. Levent distracts an officer, permitting them to slip through. They join Hakan and a combat breaks out among them and the Immortals. With inside the chaos, Hakan hastily grabs the dagger and kills one and all them, quickly securing the region. But the ultimate Immortals break out, after which the police arrive there, study the entire perimeter and seize the entire operation. Later, Hoan expresses his gratitude to Lent, acknowledging that he eventually believed him. Levent assures him that he's best doing his component. Then he mentions that he needed to assist his brother, leaving Hakan bowled over that he's certainly his brother. A surge of emotion washes over him at this unexpected revelation. Levent takes Hakan to a pharmacy basement in which he eventually exhibits his beyond whilst he turned into a child.